What's going on? Back again. Excited to chop it up with this next guest. My second interview since being back in the mix, right? Maybe I'll just theme that as the comeback, back in the mix. I'm excited to talk to this guy. You know, rookie last year in the ELF. He played for a team that kind of has honestly a tradition of some good talent at the wide receiver position. He's one of the latest to join the mix, and I'm talking about, that's right, rookie of the year, Tyler Foster, right? When you think about Berlin, you think about some of the receivers they had. You think about Shantavius Jones from year one, aka Stretch, right? You think about Robin Vilcek. You think about Aaron Jackson, even Bryce Kawanda, right? Who was on the team last year. Even Bryce Googans before he got hurt, right? And now you think about Tyler Foster, the new up-and-coming rookie last year, offensive weapon that Berlin was able to keep home, which is key. Berlin was able to keep him home, right? And I'm excited to see how everything pans out. You think about some of the big names that he's going to follow, right? You think about Juan Flores Calderon when he broke out in Milan, Robin Vilcek, right? Bryce Kawanda when they both broke out in Berlin, Milan Spiller, Helvetic, right? And of course, you can't forget about, right, the ELF champion MVP, Louis Geyer, and what these guys were able to do and develop. Let's see if he's next in line. All right. Enjoy the interview. Tyler Foster. All right. Athletes Forum podcast here. I'm your host again, of course, Jamal Clay. Appreciate everyone tuning in. And if you haven't already, don't forget to obviously subscribe. Drop a comment, most importantly, and let us know what you think as, we keep the locker room discussions in the chat. As I mentioned from the beginning of the intro, I'm excited, obviously, to talk to this guy and obviously with everything he was able to do. And, this the future's only brighter. The future's only brighter. So, we welcome Tyler Foster to the locker room. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up? I'm good. How about you? Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely, man. It was this is something that I definitely wanted to do. Definitely wanted to get you on. We talked about going into the last season. I actually made a video saying you were one of the names to look out for. I'm glad you had my back and had the type of year you had. But how would you reflect on last season real quick before we get started?
Yeah, it was a great season. Obviously, I met so many new faces, so many new players. I learned so much from the coaching staff. So I'm really thankful for that. And I'm hyped for the next season.
No, absolutely. And obviously you had a hell of a year. It was 826 yards receiving. I think you finished with like 7 touchdowns, right? Rookie of the year. Obviously, that's all documented. But be honest, man. Let me ask you this: how many times did you watch your highlights so far since the season ended?
A few times, I would say. Because
we watched them too, though.
But I'm always trying to get better. So
yeah,
I'm watching the videos again and trying to see where could I do something better. Yeah. And I think that's a big factor. So that's the reason, obviously.
Absolutely. Hey, we watch them too. We still watch them to this day. Hey, the fans want to know this: if last season, right? People in the locker room want to know if last season was a theme song, right? Who would it be? How would you describe last season in the song?
In the song?
Yeah.
Oh,
like what artist? What song would you dedicate to last season?
That is a good question, man. I would say "Run This Town." Do you know this song?
Yeah, we gonna run this town. Hey, that's all right there.
Yeah.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
So you like Jay-Z?
Yeah, I like that song. So
yeah, okay.
Because I would say the season was for me really good. So that song fits really well, I would say.
Absolutely.
That was my pre-game song, by the way. So I would say that song would fit for me personally.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously, homegrown, you're from the capital, right? played there for
Yeah.
obviously most of your life. Like you are Berlin, man. You're the future of Berlin. And let's kind of dive into that a little bit. Obviously, you had incredible rookie year, right? Let me ask you this: what moment stuck out to you where you felt like, okay, like I belong and playing at the top tier in
Yeah.
Europe?
I would say it was the week against Hamburg Sea Devils. Um, because that was my comeback week because I missed week 2 and week 3 because of a hamstring injury. So that was my comeback week, and I had roughly 100 yards and 1 touchdown. So yeah, that was my breakout week, and yeah, I would say that was the moment where I realized that I definitely can play in that league, and yeah, I realized that the season could be great at this point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it only takes a spark, right? It only takes that one moment. It's like, all right, like I belong
Yeah,
here, right? I belong here. And obviously, winning rookie of the year obviously is a testament to the season you had, right? What is
yeah,
not obviously it's a team sport, right? Obviously it's a team sport, but for that award, right? You've already talked about it missing a couple games in the beginning. Hell, you almost could have had 1,000 yards if that's the case, right? So
yeah.
winning that award in the best league in Europe, what did that mean to you?
I mean, that's huge. I'm so grateful for that, and I really appreciate that. And I don't take that for granted. And yeah, I think that's big for my further football career, and a huge booster. And yeah, I mean, I had everything written down on my whiteboard in my room, so that was always the plan. So yeah, I'm really thankful that everything worked out, and yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
listen,
huge.
absolutely, and you're following like some big footsteps as well too, right? You just think about homegrown receivers in the league, right? Like since the league started 5 years ago, you think
Yeah,
about Louis Geyer, who
for
wasn't the guy
sure.
who was first year in Stuttgart that he is now, right? You think about also ELF champion MVP. Shout out to my guy Seven. Shout out to my guy Seven. So you think about Louis Geyer. You think about Juan Flores Calderon, what he did in Milan and now in Madrid, right? You
Yeah,
think about Milan Spiller, right? Unfortunately, some circumstances, hindered him a little bit. And then you think about like what Berlin has had over the years, right? Not just Shantavius Jones, right? Aaron Jackson, but you look at
for
Bryce
sure.
Kawanda, who you played with, and even Robin Wilczek, right?
Yeah.
You're following some good like footsteps, like whether it's on Berlin or just in the league in general, right? So when you hear those names and then you hear your name attached to like, that potential, like how does that make you feel, man?
I mean, that's cool. That's really cool. I'm trying to learn as much as I can from those people, because they are a little older and stuff. So they got the experience and stuff. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can, and yeah, I'm trying my best to be the best version that I can be. And yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about learning, right? Even just this pass receiving group, right? It's if injuries didn't hinder your offense, you guys had some weapons, right? You think about
for sure.
Janini
Yeah,
Adams who ended up getting hurt. You think about Bryce Guggens, Kawanda,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You think about those guys, Shlom, who ended up having a great year as well too, on top of you as well too. So, what did you learn from like the older receiver group?
A lot. As I learned a lot from Jacob too, not only the receiving core, um, because they are really veterans, and they are so patient and they know the game so well.
Mhm.
So I learned really a lot. I talked to Bryce too a lot, and I learned a lot of yeah, new strategies to run a route or stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, that is really huge to learn from those guys, and yeah, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you reflect on your game and obviously what you've learned from like those guys, looking back what part of your game from when you started the league, or excuse me, when you started the season, even to when you finish the season, um, do you feel like you developed the most, or looking back on it, want to take a part of your game and get better at that?
I would say every part grew. So everything was better after the last game, but I would say my route running grew the most because I learned that watching tape is number one priority, and that's the only option to beat those really good corners. So yeah, I would say route running grew the most over the weeks.
Yeah, obviously getting open is a vital part to
Yeah,
playing receiver, right?
yeah.
Where do you like to play? Do you see yourself as a future X? Do you see yourself as like the Z? Do you like playing in the slot? Where do you like to play?
I would say I love playing in the slot for some screens and stuff like that, or quick out. But I like the outside too for some deep routes, because I would say I'm pretty fast for like a post or a go or even a comeback. So yeah, I like to play everywhere. Um, so yeah, like I said, outside for the deep routes with speed, and in the slot for the screens and stuff like that. So yeah.
No, absolutely. And I think playing in Adam Ritter's offense, obviously, for those who know Coach Ritter, CFL championship head coach of Barcelona,
Yeah.
when he had, Zach Edwards and Gene Constant, and obviously, the OC for Berlin last year, very high power, air raid, type of offense.
Yeah.
And, creative too, definitely, creative as well too. What did you feel like you learned from him? Like, what'd you learn from Coach Ritter, who's a little bit who's a guy who has like a lot of experience, right? Again, different system from probably most in Europe, but what do you feel like you learned from him this past year?
Yeah, definitely a lot of experience, and I would say I learned some new route concepts. So I like that one.
The CFL playbook is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like different types of concepts and creations, like it's wild for sure. It's
Yeah,
wild for
I
sure.
would say that was the biggest thing. Unfortunately, he left pretty soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, the time together was really short.
Mhm.
But yeah, I really like him, and I really respect him as a coach. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And recently, obviously, the news just broke. Tyler Foster is returning back to the capital, back to Berlin, back to the Thunder, who is now playing in who God knows if it's the ELF or the EFA, but that's gonna be a
Yep.
discussion, for another day, right? We're not here to kind of dive into that a little bit. But talk about kind of what made you come back for another season when honestly, if you haven't heard, you were probably going to hear from other teams. What made you
Yeah.
come back? Or better question is, what made you stay home?
Yeah. Yeah, like you mentioned before, I was born in Berlin. I live in Berlin, so my family's in Berlin, my friends are in Berlin, everybody. So that is obviously a big factor for me. And yeah, the second part is that I had different goals for the team, and obviously we didn't achieve that, and so it's like unfinished business for me. So I'm trying to achieve those goals in the next season. So yeah, I'm not done with that team, so that's the reason why I'm come back.
Unfinished business, absolutely, brother. And when you think about obviously that team, you think about the potential. Like, obviously, there's areas that can be developed, but I just think of the weapons. I think of like whoever that American receiver is going to be whenever you guys
Yeah,
bring him in. If you guys even bring Bryce back, but just like if you could bring back Shalom, you could bring back Kwanda. Obviously, it's a loaded receiving group
for
right
sure.
now. It
I mean,
depends on
Berlin is big. Berlin is big.
yeah. There's a
A
there's
lot
a
of
there's, there's
talent.
there's a lot of meat on the bone, right? And I
Yeah,
think
true,
not,
true.
and I think with bringing back not just the rookie of the year, but someone that is a true homegrown, someone that Grew up playing for the Berlin Adler youth team, right? And then
Yep.
obviously developing and getting into the Thunder at the top level, right?
Yep.
But now, you guys bring back another homegrowner, right?
Oh yeah.
Chris Micaiah.
Yep.
hey, I tell you what, man. It's just two signings, but strong two signings, right? Not
True.
just the type of players, not just the type of players you guys are, but who keeping that talent home versus going elsewhere. You got to figure out a way to do it. So again, the fact that you guys are returning are great building blocks. Now I'm interested to see how obviously it pans out. Obviously you guys had conversations. Was this always in the plans? Did you talk about the potential of it? Why didn't it happen this past year? Right? What did you guys talk about before obviously committing to the Thunder?
Yeah, first of all, I'm glad that he's coming back. Because because that's my guy, and yeah, I'm happy to play with him again together. And
Absolutely.
yeah, obviously we talked about that, and I mean, it was kind of the plan for the first year too, but yeah, I would say the situation wasn't right at that moment. So yeah, we talked again after that season, and he talked with the management. I talked with the management, and it worked out. So I'm really happy about that. I think he's a big factor for the team. I
Absolutely.
love his personality, and he's a character for sure. So I think that's important too. And he's a leader. He got the same goals than I have, and yeah, I think it's great to have someone around who has the same goal and has the same drive. And yeah, I'm really excited for the next year with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just think about his impact, what it could be. Like he could be the best running back Berlin has had since Jock, and probably could be better than Jock. He has more years, left on the wheel, obviously, than Jock, who is, almost on the back end, right?
Yeah,
And not to mention he's going to open up a lot of things like in the pass game, right?
for sure.
Berlin traditionally never really had, like, besides Jock Crawford, like a true, really, like, running back. Like they had, a couple other guys who weren't able to get it done. Janini Adams was a good one, but obviously that he got hurt, right? But also within that Adam Ritter offense, which is more, pass, predicated, right? So it's definitely gonna provide more balance and open up a lot of things, for you guys in that way. So I'm excited to see what the future looks like for you guys.
Yeah, me too. I think like you said, it's important for both of us, because if the running game works, then the receiving the receiving thing works too. So I think it's important for both of us, and I'm so hyped, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, last question, brother. And again, I appreciate you coming on. Tyler Foster, Rookie of the Year, Berlin Thunder. This is the last question, brother. Now that the bar is kind of set, right? Rookie of the Year, the type of performance that you just had, even after missing a couple games, like, what's the plan on how to build on that this offseason? What do you want to work on? What do you want to focus on going into the next season? What's your plan going forward, my man?
I'm trying to work on my speed, because I think that is already my strength. But yeah, you can't be fast enough, so that's the point.
Amen.
And yeah, my route running, those two things I would say, and the combine in general, because like I said, the goal is the IPP, and the combine is is the most important thing to get into the IPP. So my focus is definitely on that too. And yeah, the goals for the season, I would say, beat my own records. It's for me, it's always you against you. So
Absolutely.
so that's the biggest point for me. And yeah, those are the goals. And yeah, the long time goal, as I mentioned before, is the IPP program in the next, I would say, 2 years maybe, because I'm still young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the plan.
No, absolutely, absolutely, and I'm excited to see how it pans out. Excited to see what the future looks like for you, and appreciate you coming on, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. This won't be the last time we chop it up. Excited to see how Berlin continues to build around obviously their young talent and what that looks like, and honestly see what even league you guys play in. So appreciate you coming on. Everyone, drop a comment, subscribe, share with a friend, share with your mama, right? Tell your best friend, all right?
Yeah. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely, bro.